All right, so number one, we want to find a polynomial function of degree 5. And it says with -1 as a 0 of multiplicity 3. Okay, so from the overview, remember, whenever they give us a 0, we change the sign. So that's going to be x minus a -1. Minus a negative becomes a positive, so x plus 1. Multiplicity 3 means I'm going to do it to the third power. 0 as a multiplicity, as a 0 of multiplicity 1, so that would just be x equals 0 or just x. Okay, because x minus 0 is still x. Okay, you just do x minus the number to get the linear factor. Okay, every time. So x minus 0 is just x. And then we have 1 as a 0 of multiplicity 1. So we're going to have x minus 1. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread all of this out and we're going to multiply it together. So I'm just going to put the x up front. The order in which you multiply doesn't affect the problem. So I'm going to write out x plus 1. I'm going to just do squared, and I'm going to separate it because I can see a little formula here. And I'm going to take out one of those, x plus 1, and then x minus 1. Okay, so I took one of those out because I know how to do square. There's a shortcut formula for squaring. And then when I look at these two, because x plus 1 was 3 times, so there's 2 here, and then a third one here. I also have this x minus 1, which I can apply difference of squares formula here. So I'm gonna start simplifying this. I'm gonna bring down my x, and then the shortcut is to square the first term, multiply these two in the middle, so that'd be 1x, and double it. So 1x times 2 is 2x plus 2x, and then square the last term plus 1. So that's what we get when we do x plus 1 squared. Now, difference of squares, you square both terms. So you just get x squared and then minus 1 squared, which is 1. So continuing, we're going to do distributive property. Multiply all of these guys times x squared, and then all of these guys times -1. And then lastly, I will distribute the x through. So I'm going to do x to the squared times x squared. That's going to give us x to the 4th. And then we're going to do 2x times x squared. That's going to give us a positive 2x to the 3rd. And then we're going to do 1 times x squared, which is going to give us a positive x squared. So I've done all of these guys times x squared. Now all of these guys times -1. So x squared times -1. I'm going to line it up with this like term, minus x squared gives a negative x squared. 2x times a -1 will give us a minus 2x. And then 1 times -1 will give us a -1. All right, so we're going to combine these terms, bring them straight down, still keep my x out there, and then put this in parentheses, x to the 4th plus 2x to the 3rd, and then these terms cancel, and then minus 2x minus 1. All right, and lastly, we will distribute the x through. So we get x to the 5th plus 2x to the 4th minus 2x squared minus x. So here is what we wanted, a 5th degree polynomial whose zeros were the given ones that we had. So we're going to type this in. X to the 5th plus 2x to the 4th minus 2x squared minus x.